The fans are back, and we're here to answer some more questions. I absolutely love this. I'm such a fan
Yeah.
of these questions and the questions rolling in from you guys. This one coming from Sarah, another one of our gym members, gym people, friends. Shout out to Sarah for these questions. They're a little bit all over the place. Like, it's fun. They're not just one topic. There's multiple topics. We got 5 questions to answer. I'm ready to get right into this. RJ,
Let's
you
go,
can
baby.
say something while I'm pulling this up because I lost the thing.
Oh, no worries. Shout out to Veal Scalciopini. And, she's a staple at our gym, and she's a badass chick. And if you mess with her, she'll break your arm off. And I'm curious to see what she has for us, and I can't wait to answer some questions.
Takes arms home. All right, first question. Who's your favorite UFC fighter? It doesn't specify like current or all time, so you can do what you want.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, without really thinking about it, current, I would have to probably say Max Holloway. I get so excited watching him fight. He's got like the style that I love. It's a toss up between Holloway and Gaethje. Those are like my two guys. Love watching those guys fight. Love their styles. All time might have to be Nick Diaz. Surprise, everybody. Just the way Nick fights, man. Like, I loved it. I could say love because I guess he still fights. He says he wants to come back. Just his style, man. He'll box you up. He'll talk shit. He could take a ton of damage. His cardio is for days. And if you get him on the ground, he'll submit you. Like, I just love. That's the style I like. Really good hands. Just tough as nails. Can submit you. Like that. Those are my kind of guys. I'll say all time Nick Diaz. Current, probably Max Holloway.
Max Holloway. All right. Good. I got 2 different answers, so that's nice. Current for me, surprise, Israel Adesanya. He knew it was coming. Been my guy since his kickboxing days. That's who I emulate my style after when I kickbox. That's just my guy for life. He's almost climbing to my all-time favorite, but my all-time favorite, I'm on the fence with this one, but I'm gonna go Mirko Cro Cop. That guy, man. What you could tell I'm a kickboxing guy. I love the strikers, but man, his kicks were lethal. His hands were lethal. That guy in his pride days were he was something else to watch, and all-time favorite.
Right leg, hospital. Left leg,
cemetery.
I hope to have a cool slogan like that one day, bro. Like, that's crazy. That's what people say about you.
That alone makes him top 5 favorites. But yeah, that's my guy right there.
I didn't think you were gonna go Cro Cop. That's pretty cool.
I was on the fence, but Demetrius Johnson is current still, so he's still fighting. So I tried to switch it up and go someone not fighting.
I dig it.
I love that question. Number 2, what is your favorite technique? There could be a lot of answers for this, so I'm curious to see which direction you go.
Technique. Well, again, like, yeah, there are a lot of ways you can go with this. I'm gonna have to. Okay, this might be like boring to some people, but this is my answer, and I'm working this out in my head as we go. The jab. The jab in a fight. Okay, your jab gets you your distance. Your jab sets up your combinations. Your jab gets you access to your power shots. Your jab gives you your entry to your takedowns. Your jab gets you, if you're getting the takedowns, you're getting to your submissions. It's like, you could build a fighter off of a jab. If you have a good jab, I think you can, don't get crazy and start fighting people in the streets just because you can jab a heavy bag. But like, a good jab is a great foundation for a fighter. And when I'm sparring and training, I lean heavy on the jab, and I'm gonna say the jab.
I I didn't know where you were going with that. I didn't know if you were gonna go jiu-jitsu or striking technique, but that was cool that you went jab. You know who doesn't jab? Justin Gaethje does not jab. So it's pretty hypocritical to say jab when your favorite fighter is Justin Gaethje.
That's my favorite technique. It might not be his.
I just had to throw that out there. I don't even know. My head went a lot of different directions on this one, but I think I'm sticking with a striking technique. But as a heavy kicker, one of the most satisfying techniques for me is a southpaw left kick to the liver. I don't know. I love setting up the kick with low kicks, teeps, all that jazz, and then you can get a nice nice left leg up in that liver. One of my favorites. Oh, not one of. It is my favorite, actually. There's nothing like shutting someone down unwillingly.
I like the switch kick to the body too. That is a nice. That's a nice kick.
Gotta love the left kick.
You know what? You could throw right before that.
What?
A jab.
Man.
What else do you got?
All right, number three. What is your most effective submission right now? Big jiu-jitsu guys here, so this is a good question.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, these young guys are just getting better and better every day, so it's effective is an interesting way to put it. No, okay, this might be a little more broad than she's looking for. I'll try to narrow it down in my explanation, but the short answer is a choke. I think the choke is the king of all finishes because it doesn't matter how tough you are. It doesn't matter how strong you are. A choke will finish a fight all the time. With that being said, the king of all chokes is the rear naked choke, in my opinion. I think if you get on someone's back and you squeeze their neck hard enough, that's basically as dominant a position and choke that can exist. But I will say I also really love my Darce. I really love my guillotine. So it's probably one of those three, Darce, guillotine, or rear naked choke. If we're in the gi, I love me a bow and arrow or a sliding collar from the back. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be a choke. I think the choke is my my bread and butter.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the chokes as well. The two came to my mind that have really worked for me and have been very successful in my jiu-jitsu career just because of my limbs. If you guys didn't know, I have some of the longest limbs in the gym, and I use that to my absolute advantage. Triangle choke is my number one. That I'd be throwing up triangles like it's nobody's business. And then number two is the anaconda. I thought I was a Darce guy, but I found out I'm more of an anaconda guy. And the anaconda has been working a lot better.
Switch that arm positioning a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, chokes are the great equalizer. You can break someone's arm, and if they're tough enough, they'll keep going. But if you put someone to sleep, they're ending the fight. They're not going to let you keep going. So, those two chokes are my go-tos. They are highly successful. And one that is not successful in my life is the guillotine. I can't finish a guillotine to save my life. So I stay away from that one.
We'll work on
it. Number 4. This is a lengthy one. What are some things you do to keep your cardio up outside of training to prevent gassing out?
Well, I gotta say, okay, so look, the first thing that might be a eureka kind of thought, but for some people, is more training. The more you train in the specific thing, because look, not all cardios are made equal.
Right.
You might be able to do jumping jacks for 3 days straight and then try to run down the block and you're gassed out. You might be able to do jiu-jitsu for 2 hours straight and then try hitting the heavy bag, and 15 seconds later your shoulders are filled with blood and you're gassed out. So whatever you're specifically training for, I say do more of that, and then it will become easier. That's kind of the cop-out answer. The other answer would be, okay, not everybody enjoys all types of cardio. So at the end of the day, some people just do what they can stand, right? Whatever you can actually do and not want to like blow your brains out. I particularly like the triathlon look. I like riding a bike, I like running, and I like swimming. Those three for me, when I'm doing all three of those consistently, I feel like my cardio is on point. With all that being said, I can hear my coach in the back of my head just telling me I'm such a pussy because I need to go do my sprints. Coach will say, I'd rather you sprint for 10 minutes than run 10 miles. He goes, you can run 10 miles, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather you sprint. If you could do something for 10 minutes, go sprint. That's going to do the best thing for your cardio. So I know that's kind of three answers, but do whatever you can do because none of it is going to be bad for you.
Yeah, my answer's not too different. My number one that came into my head, I love biking. Biking is one of my favorite things, partially because it kind of just gets to clear your mind a little bit. Like, not really, you don't have to think about much else when you're biking. And I absolutely hate running. I'm not a distance runner to begin with. Like, I'm fine with sprints, and I'll do my sprints just because, I don't know, I've always been like more of a short distance. But when I want to go long distance, I'll bike. I won't run. I just won't do it. I'll bike. Biking's my number one. Swimming, I love swimming. I don't do that as much as biking, but I do enjoy swimming. And I mean, lifting heavy is a great form of cardio, as it'll get you strong. But when you're doing like supersets and whatnot, lifting heavy has been like a good for me, and I have noticed a difference in my cardio when I do lift more. So I would say lifting is a very big part in cardio. And there was one more. Biking, swimming. Yeah, I'm giving a lot of answers now.
It's okay. I mean,
it really is what you experiment, I would say, but these are just like what work for me and what don't work for me. And I've noticed if I'm eating like an idiot, I feel very much more gassed out when I'm training than if I'm eating like a solid meal before training or after or whenever you eat. So I think a diet comes into play big time.
Yeah, I mean, you've reminded me of a couple things that if I can, I'm just going to touch on.
Go for it.
With alongside eating, sleeping. I used to be that guy who was like, I could sleep 3 hours and still go do whatever I got to do. And it's like, yeah, okay, I could. But once you start getting 8 hours, you're like, oh, I actually perform better. So like sleep is a big thing. And I'm happy you brought up lifting because it kind of like slipped my mind. And I won't say lifting exactly, but just strength and conditioning training. Like that's what it's meant to do, right? So like switching between lifting and jumping rope and, jump squats and it just like, all these different things. Like there's so much you can do cardio wise when at the end of the day, all you really have to do is do it.
Yeah.
Like you could walk.
Right.
You could walk. It's
Absolutely.
like all you really got to do is do something. I mean, it's your heartbeat, it's your breath rate. It's like, it's these things that anything that gets your blood going, just do more of it.
And I say try as much as you can because pretty much all cardio is different. Like it'll work different, like breathing, aerobic. I know anaerobic. I'm not the science guy or anything, but I know some of it. I say try as much as you can and figure out what you like. And if you like something enough, just do it, like RJ said.
Yeah, and the three of us are going to go on a bike ride. I'm setting it up right now.
I'm in for the bike ride.
Let's go, dude.
Final question, and this is a fun one. If you could name one professional UFC fighter in your weight class to fight, who would it be?
Oh boy.
I think I know your answer. Actually, maybe not.
I don't know if I'm gonna go the way you think I'm gonna go.
It'd be a rough night in the office.
Excuse me. Well, so that's the first part. I don't know that I want to fight any of these guys. Okay, like wanting to fight one of them is a funny way of saying it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I would really want to fight anybody who's in the UFC. I get the thought process though. The second part of my process is, what weight division would that be? Because right now I'm at light heavyweight. I definitely ain't no light heavyweight.
What would you fight at? What would you fight at?
Well, that's the question. I mean, I feel great at like 170. I know in my heart I could make 155. My coach tells me by looking at me, and he's been around this forever, he's a little old school, loves to cut every freaking ounce off of you. He says I'm a 145er. I'm walking around at 211 pounds. He says I'm a 145er. Whatever, though. So that would leave me with...
I hope he doesn't see this.
I hope he does.
Actually, yeah,
Coach,
I hope he does.
You're nuts. I'm getting too old to drain myself like this. I like to eat, bro. All right. So that would leave me with like either 155 or 170. I'll have to narrow it to one of those. I'll tell you straight up, I don't want to fight anybody in the top 15 at 155. That would be a freaking nightmare. If I just had to pick somebody, like, this is the thing. I'm thinking about it as in like, who do I think I would do well against, or just because I think they're cool and I would be like, oh yeah, I respect that guy, so I want to fight him? Or is it like, I don't like that guy, I want to punch him in the face? Like, there's a lot of ways I could think about wanting to fight somebody. One of the names, and I don't know where this came from, one of the names that popped into my head was Bruce Leroy.
Wow.
Caceres? I don't know why, bro.
Wow.
I was just like thinking about fighters, and I was like, you know what? I respect the way the guy strikes. He's got good jiu-jitsu. I'm like a little bit bigger. He's fast. I'm a little bigger. Like, styles might be interesting. That would be like kind of fun. I think it would just be a fun fight, not just like me getting my leg kicked off by Gaethje, which is, I think where you were going.
I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't like fighting Gaethje would be a nightmare. Like, that's the thing. Like, I love that guy and I respect the hell out of his body of work, but like wanting to fight a guy like that, that's like wanting to get into a car accident. It's like, that sounds awful. It's like, that's going to hurt very bad. Like, he's going to keep hitting me until I either kill him or he kills me. Like, he's just going to keep hitting me until that happens. And it's like, I don't know if I want that smoke, bro.
Oh, man.
This is one other thing. If I'm going to go 170, right? Mickey Gall. And let me explain, right? We're both Jersey guys. He's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. I actually know some people he knows. He probably has no idea who I am. That's okay. I've heard some things, and some of the things that I've seen just about, like, it's funny, after you hear something about somebody and then you see the way they carry themselves, you're like, okay, I think I see you a little bit, you know? And look, he's a black belt. I respect. He's a professional fighter. Respect. I'm not trying to like speak out of line here, but if there's anybody that I probably wouldn't mind punching in the face, it might be a professional that I wouldn't mind punching in the face. It might be me.
I don't even know. Those were very like out. I didn't even, I didn't know where you were gonna go. I kind of thought you were gonna go Gaethje, but
yeah, like, because I have to be honest about it. Like, if I'm like really like, who would I want to fight? It's like, do I want to fight Justin Gaethje? Like, fuck no, absolutely not. That would be terrible.
Yeah, no. Well, this is not gonna be a good answer for me because I kind of accepted that I'm gonna get my head beat off. But I'm a 145er. I know I am. Coach would never let me fight at 155 if I was a professional. He might even make me go 135, but I'm thinking 145 because that's what I think I'd be at. And I immediately went Alexander Volkanovski because, it's Alexander Volkanovski, and I'd get my head butchered and my leg chopped off and pretty much anything else that happened. I was thinking Max Holloway because we were similar body types and head, but I'm going to box my bleeding head off anyway. There's really no good answers here, but I mean, I went like dream fight. I didn't go thinking smart here. Like you went thinking smart. I went thinking like, these are my idols. I want to fight them.
I know, like, because I was really trying to break that down. Like, how could I really answer that, like, honestly? If I just come out here and say, like, I want to fight Dustin Poirier, it's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't want to fight that guy. I think he's awesome. I respect him. Like, I think he would probably beat me the hell up. This kind of goes in line with something that we were just talking about before, and I don't know if we want to do a whole nother video for that.
Oh, but man, I'm going to go off if we do it right now.
Well, look, because it is one of these things where sometimes common people, even if they train, actually, like, think that they're going to, like, fight a professional fighter. And it's like I understand being like confident. It's like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'm out with my girl, and if somebody says something, I'm gonna stand up to them. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. There's that, but then there's like, there's stupidity. It's like you actually think that, like, because you want to fight in 7th grade, that you can like fight a professional fighter.
It's just
no, dog. It's not how that works.
I want to do a separate video on what we were just talking about, because I want to do a full video on that. But yeah, it's just not going to work out for you. I'll give you.
Yeah.
Brandon Moreno weighs 125 pounds, and I would put him up against like an average folk that weighs 185 pounds, maybe even 200 pounds with no training. I like his chances.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, weight does something, but not really with that type of level. Like, the level's too much, you know what I mean? I'm
riding
yeah, like an average, not even a professional fighter, right? Like an average I don't even want to say a black belt, bro. I'll say like an average purple belt. Like, could be some nerd that like you went to high school with, and he like started jiu-jitsu when he was kind of young, and like now he's got his purple belt. Like, that guy will smoke like most people, and he's not like a professional fighter. Doesn't have boxing and wrestling and experience getting punched and kicked. Like, we have to really respect how tough and how talented some of these fighters are. Like, people don't get it. And I don't mean this towards Sarah. I get her question, and I like
it's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, right. It got us talking. So like, I like the question, but at the end of the day, to think like anybody who isn't like extremely high level fighter is just going to go and like fight somebody in the UFC, it's like, it's nonsense. It's crazy, because they will get badly hurt, like, and it won't take long.
Yeah, like, it'd be a bad day if you tried to fight a UFC fighter. Pretty much.
Justin Gaethje just beat somebody up the other day. Did you see that?
No.
I just saw. It might have been old, and then it resurfaced, but I saw it the other day.
Wow.
Somebody tried to like do something stupid, and Justin Gaethje just happened to be there. Dude, you should have seen the picture of the guy before and after Justin Gaethje got his hands on it. And I'm sure it probably took 10 seconds for Gaethje to absolutely obliterate this cat. Kevin Holland's done it. John Jones has done it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, if we're talking real life here, you would get your head beat off, your leg chopped off, and you would probably be on the ground unconscious if you tried to square up with a UFC fighter pretty quickly, just to be clear. But this is all hypothetical, and I will probably never fight Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, because if we're gonna do that, then it's like, okay, Conor McGregor, I'll fight him. Like I don't know. To Mike Tyson. Like,
I wouldn't even pick him. I'm not even gonna pick him. I would not even pick him.
That's what I mean. It's like, how far can you really take the question? Because it's like, if I fight anybody in the world, okay, Roy Jones Jr. from 1994, like okay, like I don't know. It's like a funny question. Actually, I take it back. Scribble all that out. I want to fight the Island Boys. Where you at, boys? I'll fight you both. I'm gonna fight you both in one night. If I knock the diamonds out of your teeth, I get to keep them.
This video's over. End the video. It's over. We're done.
Pull the plug, bro. We're going off. Pull the plug, man. Pull the plug, Tyler.
Those are the 5 questions. We went off on a tangent. And
love these questions.
Yeah, great questions. Thank you, Sarah. Keep the questions coming. You see what happens when you guys ask questions? We just get to hang out and talk about and be a bunch of idiots. But someone tag the Island Boys and get RJ in the ring. We'll see you in the next episode. RJ, you gotta say bye.